Who are you going to call? The Ghostbusters. Hello there, fellow investigators. Welcome back to the Dark Ether Files podcast. I'm Special Agent Spooky Clutter.
I'm Special Agent Carter Sauce.
And tonight, we are giving our first impressions of Ghostbusters Afterlife. If you guys read the description or read the title, we will be going into spoilers, light spoilers, but that will be later on in the stream, so you don't have to worry about that. So, welcome back. And I gotta say, Ghostbusters Afterlife had a lot riding on it in regards for keeping the fans on board, if you will, after the 2016 film and having to deal with the stress and frustration of it. Fans were wondering, is Ghostbusters pretty much dead? And I would say yes and no. And here's why. So, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a good film. At the same time, I will say that it's a certain kind of film that I would classify as not what I was looking for, but it's still satisfying nonetheless. Let me explain. So, the crux of the movie, or the main focus, is not on your typical Ghostbusters, as in the OG cast. This isn't a spoiler. You can see this in the trailers. It's focused on Egon's granddaughter, Phoebe. And it gives a lot of focus onto the child actors. So as far as a spiritual successor to Ghostbusters, it's not in that traditional sense. If you're a fan of things like Stranger Things or Super 8, like I was, then you might enjoy this film for that. With that said, I say go see the movie anyway. If you're a fan of the original, and hell, if you're a fan of the second film too, go see the movie. It's worth it, especially for the end. And I will not go into spoilers for that. I do not want to spoil that here on the stream. With that said, go see it. Go see it, and you will appreciate what the movie does. Could there have been things that could have been done better? Yes. With that said, it is not the dumpster fire that Wokebusters was.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have a heavy-handed political message like many films have these days. The movie has a female lead in Egon's granddaughter, Phoebe. And she's a really good character. I like her. She was really good. The actress who portrayed her did a really great job. She wasn't annoying. She wasn't preachy. She wasn't the typical SJW type feminist.
Not the type of Greta Thunberg type of character.
There you go. So you won't get lectured to in this film about any kind of political BS, any kind of female empowerment, women equality, all that crap. It's a good film. It's a decent film. I personally enjoyed it very much. I was getting emotional, especially towards the end. Once again, yes. No spoilers. Go see the film. That's all I can say. Go see the film. Judge it for yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I give it a 9 out of 10 for me personally. And I have my reasons. I do enjoy that sort of Stranger Things, Super 8 atmosphere. The characters are fairly well done. There could have been better dialogue and better focus on some of the characters, but other than that, it was a decent film, and at the best, it was a film that didn't try to lecture you about anything. It was a good old popcorn flick with some really good callbacks to the original film, and hence the reason why I say go check it out, and you might even enjoy it. You might think that it's a little heavy-handed with its nostalgia, but for me, that's okay in this instance because this film has a good cast of characters and it expands just a little bit on the Ghostbusters mythology, just a bit. I would say that it probably could have done with more expanding on the lore, being that this movie is supposed to take place 30 years later. With that said, it's still pretty good, all things considered.
My thoughts on the movie is that, my thoughts exactly on your opinion. Like, there are some moments in there where, like, spoilers, there are callbacks to the first movie, and there are some like name drops, and there are some like surprising cameos. I am not going to say who though, but there are surprising cameos, which I love. My favorite part of the scene is where we get to finally see one of the one of the familiar characters or names of the movie, Ivor Shandor.
Evo Shandor.
Ivo Shandor. If you don't know who Ivo Shandor is, he was the guy that built the Dana Barrett's apartment and who was a Gozer worshiper / started a Gozer worshiping cult. And not to mention that his name literally is popped up in the town, and we actually get to see him though.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. But we don't know who. But we're not saying who plays him though. But we see him.
That's not necessarily relevant, although people will recognize him maybe. But yes, we do get to see that. Like I said, like spoilers. So that's all that we can really say about that. We might give a full-on spoiler review later on down the line, though we do want to let this movie kind of settle, let the ashes or the dust clear, so to speak, to make sure that we're just not purely going on emotion. And I went into this film on a even playing field. I was glad that they were ignoring the 2016 film for obvious reasons. At the same time, this movie needed to stand on its own and be its own Ghostbusters movie. And like I said, if you're going in expecting like Ghostbusters the video game, then that's not what this film is. It's much more self-contained. It's a little bit of a smaller story. It harkens back to the original, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. I think with what we got, they did a really good job. And with the ending, and again, no spoilers, but they could have really botched up the ending very, very bad, but they didn't. They did a very great job on honoring Harold Ramis.
Yes,
I will say that. They did a very great job. And it was actually one of the scenes where I actually started tearing up because it was that good. And because Harold Ramis had passed away back in 2014. And for most people, that was pretty much the end for a Ghostbusters sequel, because how can you have a Ghostbusters movie without the four main guys? And obviously the 2016 film gave a big middle finger to all that. So that's why fans were sort of in a mindset that they should probably just leave the Ghostbusters franchise alone. With that said, this film honors Harold Ramis very good. They continue on his story and pass on the torch to a new generation, which is nice. I'm glad that they did that. And yeah.
And one of the cool things about this movie is that Ivan Reitman's son, Reitman, his son, actually directed this movie. So
Jason Reitman.
Jason Reitman, yes, he's actually Ivan's son, and it's very cool that there's Slimer. It's cool that someone. It's like the passing of the torch, though. It's like they should have done in the 2016 movie, but they didn't do it. It was like a big fuck you to the fandom. So, and here's a weird thing, though, is that I told Caleb what they should have done with Ghostbusters 2016 is that the Ghostbusters, like Spangler, Stans, Zeddemore, and Venkman, they were getting in their they're getting in their golden years. So like, I'm getting too old for this sort of thing. We need to find someone to pass the torch on to. And that's what Ghostbusters 2016 didn't do, though. It was like a shitty, long, oversaturated SNL sketch that made the jokes were pointless. They were literally beating a dead horse over it. But anyway, this was just like I wanted, though. It was like sort of a passing of the torch. Like, okay, we've had our time is ran, and so it's your turn to carry our legacy. That's what this was, though. And it was like, instead of having this take place in New York, though, we go somewhere like in the middle of
Oklahoma.
of bumfuck Oklahoma, or Somerville as it's called. But it's very good though. It's like they're taking a change. They're taking a change of scenery, because most of the Ghostbusters films are mostly in New York though.
Right.
But we're in a different location, which is very good though. A different change of pace though. And with the sad passing of Harold Ramis, though, I didn't think there would be like another Ghostbusters movie, but I was wrong though. But there is a possibility, a little bit of a light spoiler. I have a feeling they're going to make a sequel, and I
have
hope
a feeling.
I have a feeling.
This is what I say to feed off of what Carter's trying to say. Basically, stay through the credits all the way.
Just like every Marvel movie.
Yeah, there you go. Think like a Marvel film. Stay through all the way to the end of the credits. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. I promise.
Exactly.
It's very good, and they tease things. And who knows? Personally, I would think that they should maybe leave it alone at this point, because we've already gone through a dry spell of Ghostbusters content, and that's what gave birth to the 2016 film. And at this point, because the Hollywood industry is creatively bankrupt, I would say that maybe you should just leave it alone. I think that this film, I mean, obviously, we're telling you to stay through the end credits, so obviously there's something there. Of course, I would still say you should most likely just leave it be, because we don't want them to fuck it up anymore. Like
they did with 16.
Like, watch this, right? So our suggestion, I think Carter can agree with me. That's why I say our suggestion. Watch the first two films, play Ghostbusters the video game, and watch this film, and there's your Ghostbusters,
cat timeline.
Like what would you say, a quadrilogy? Is that what it would be
yeah, quadrilogy.
Instead of a trilogy, it's a quadrilogy.
Yeah, well, quad is 4.
Right. So there's your Ghostbusters quadrilogy, and I think that's pretty good. I love Ghostbusters the video game. That's really the spiritual third film because of how good it is, how well done it was. So I would say that just to stick with the first two films, Ghostbusters the video game, and then watch this film. This fourth film isn't necessarily required. I will say that. And if you're not a fan of the sort of Stranger Things, Super 8 vibe, then you might not enjoy this film as much. But go watch it anyway, and especially stay to the end, because at the very least, it's worth it up to there.
Or in the words of Wesley, if you don't like, or if you're not into that stuff, but in the words of Wesley from Wanted, what the fuck have you been doing lately?
Right. So, as far as rating it go, how would you give it, Carter?
I was going to give it like you said, a 9 though, but when there were like big callback moments to it, I just like, you know what? I'm giving it 2 extra points. I'm giving it a fucking 11 out of 10 though, because this movie, there were like moments in there that was like literally tearing at my heartstrings. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't even fucking produce tears though. But I was mentally crying. Like, yeah. I was like, oh my God, yes. Like happy and sappy, sad and happy crying though. I was like, oh yes, you did it. You fucking did it.
How you doing, Kyle? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
It's good to see you.
We just got back, and pretty good film. I gotta say, I think you might enjoy it. I think you really might enjoy it. How was your live stream tonight for Halloween Resurrection? Did you vomit like I did? Yeah, so definitely there were a lot of moments that were tugging at the heartstrings, callbacks, nostalgia to the first film. And I will say this, that a lot of the soundtrack was beats from the original film. So you'll hear
Yes.
a lot of familiar sounds. You do hear the Ghostbusters theme in the film. I won't say where, but you do hear it, and it's worth watching at least once. Go check it out. If you don't like it, maybe you'll like certain parts of it, or like me, I liked all of it. Do I have my problems with it? Yeah, they're few and far between. This isn't a perfect film, but it is a good film. It is a decent film.
I give him credit for trying, though.
Yeah, I'll say this, that the film, its heart was in the right place
Yes, it was.
compared to the 2016 film.
Fuck that. No, it wasn't. No, the fuck it wasn't. To be honest, though, that movie is so bad. You know what? Here's what I'll tell you. If you even pay me the entire gold bullion of Fort Knox to watch that movie 2 days in a row, I will fucking do it, though. Otherwise, if there's no money involved, fuck that movie. Or better yet, the CIA should make terrorist or use that as an investigative or like a method of torture, a torture method, just to watch this shitty movie. Fuck that movie.
Yeah, this movie is not Ghostbusters 2016.
Nope.
Excuse me, Wokebusters.
Yeah, Wokebusters. Fuck that movie.
So yes, Kyle says, "I got the flu watching Halloween Resurrection." Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. That's one of the side effects, possible side effects. But at least you got it out of the way, right? I hope it was a good stream, though, all things considered. We definitely had a good time at Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes,
and I will say that the crowd reaction was decent, too. One of the things I really like doing is gauging the audience reaction in the theaters. And I've been disappointed lately because a lot of times when, like me, Carter, my father, we always like to get the claps and the cheers on. And when the rest of the audience doesn't chime in, it kind of pisses me off because I think to myself, man, these people are dead inside. You can't get excited for a film anymore.
I'm pretty sure that they got excited during Endgame when we saw a shitload of the superheroes come back through the portals. I'm pretty sure they're like, "Wow!"
Yeah, they did.
But when the OG Ghostbusters, I'm not like there was a moment in there that I really wanted to scream my fucking head off. I'm not saying what moment though, but I really wanted to scream my fucking head off. I was like, yes! Like yes!
Wow, that's loud.
Like I really wanted to scream, but I didn't want to bitchy.
Yeah, but we cheered though, and in fact, what's funny is that we actually got a compliment. There was an older lady with her husband as they were passing by because the credits were rolling, and this lady said that it was a real pleasure sitting next to us. You guys really made the movie good for us. I was like, wow, that's really nice of you. That's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, because most times nobody said anything, or not to mention when I got hyped up for now. Short story. 2 years ago when we saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we, not to mention it was during the previews, that there were some good previews. I was getting so hyped up that there was this one asshole put his hand on me. It was like, "Hey, are you going to be doing that throughout the entire movie?" I was like, no, but mentally in my head though, I was like, touch me again, I'm going to break your fucking fingers. Because like this guy touched me though, because I was getting hyped over some good trailers. There were some good trailers though. It's a good thing I didn't take my drink and throw it at him. Like, you know what? You want to see it? Oh, do you know this movie comes in 3D though? Yeah, here, asshole. Yeah, and if you're out there watching this, yeah, fuck you. Touch me again, I dare you.
Anyway, so what else? So the audience reaction. So that lady gave us a compliment, and that actually made my night because
same too.
We don't usually get that kind of reaction, and I think one of the reasons why she gave us a compliment is because we started all of the applause, all the cheering and such. We started it, and I can say that with 100% certainty because nobody else started it. Though once we started it, everybody was chiming in. And it was all well worth it. It was warranted. if you love the original Ghostbusters, then you will love this film for those moments. Now, if you're not, like I said earlier, if you're not a fan of Stranger Things, Super 8, that kind of vibe and those kinds of characters where it focuses on the child actors, you might not like this film for that, but you should stay through to the end anyway because it is that good.
Yes.
With the moments that shine, that remind you of the original Ghostbusters, they shine very bright.
Yes,
And the movie is worth it for that. And it's worth it to honor Harold Ramis. And I'm very glad that we watched it, and I will definitely be seeing it again and buying it on Blu-ray whenever it comes out. How about you, Carter?
I fucking agree with you 100% though. And maybe I could invite my sister to come see it though, because she actually wanted to see it.
Oh, then we gotta get her to go with us.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta go watch it together again and bring your sister along.
Yep.
All right, so that will do it here. This was a fairly short stream. We wanted to keep it short and sweet, give our general thoughts and opinions on the film without spoiling too much. That's why I said light spoilers. But definitely go see this movie. Go see it with anybody that that are fans of Ghostbusters. You guys will enjoy it. Enjoy especially the parts that remind you of the original Ghostbusters. It's a good time. And the movie does not lecture you on political BS, which I was very happy to experience, that there was nothing like that in there.
Fucking God. Also, and also, while you're watching the movie, make sure you do like a play like a mental game of I Spy, like, play like a game of Easter eggs, like see where stuff is on stuff you could recognize. Just do that. Because I saw a bunch of stuff.
It also helped the fact that we watched the original Ghostbusters a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
So the
last
first movie
night
is still
and
fresh
the
in
night
our minds.
before.
Yep. The original still fresh in our minds, so we were able to spot a lot of things in there. So it was good. So Kyle says, I love the original Ghostbusters and Stranger Things. I'm definitely watching it early afternoon. Yeah, it's definitely a good time, man.
Do it. Good.
Absolute good time. You're going to have a good time, I promise. All right, so that'll do it over here on the Dark Ether Files podcast. You guys have a good evening. We'll see you when we see you. This Sunday, we're going to be on Bacon Pew Pew's channel watching Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I believe. We're doing a watch along there. Also expect some new content next week related to a series that we're developing. And until then, our fellow investigators, remember, the entertainment is out there.